Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 16th annual ILWU PMA Luncheon. It is my sincere honor to be able to welcome you here today and to thank you for your tremendous support over this unprecedented year. Great thanks to the ILWU locals, to the PMA members, and the Port of Los Angeles for your tremendous support has helped us to expand our services to meet the great needs of our families during this crisis. We couldn't have done it without you, and to hear more about our fantastic and unprecedented year, I'd like to welcome our board president, Mr. Sergio Carrillo.
Hello everyone and good afternoon. My name is Sergio Carrillo, president of the board of directors of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Los Angeles Harbor. And I want to welcome you to the 16th annual ILWU PMA Luncheon. It's hard to believe it's been 16 years that we've been doing this. Last March, it was announced that our world was in the middle of a pandemic. And organizations and businesses had to learn how to pivot, how to serve and continue to do the work they do in this new era. The same was here at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And we needed to learn how to serve our youth. And that we did. We opened up our clubhouses for the children of first responders. We began providing virtual learning for our children and our youth. We began to provide grab-and-go food programs, to provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snack, especially for those kids in our community who depended on that from schools when the schools were closed. But then we also learned that people were finding food insecurity at home during the weekends as well. So we began our weekend wellness program, providing upwards of 50,000 meals every weekend to the youth and their families that we serve here in the harbor area. And just recently, we were blessed to be able to serve our 1 millionth meal. We were able to do this only because of the generosity of supporters in our community, like you. The ILWU PMA Luncheon has raised over $1 million since its inception. And your support has allowed us to do the things that we have been able to do this past year. Because of you and your generosity, we've been able to serve the youth of our community, but most especially, those who need us most. So on behalf of our entire board of directors, I want to thank you for your support, for your generosity, for your commitment to our mission, and for being here today. And so again, welcome to the 16th annual ILWU PMA Luncheon.
Hi, my name is Angel, and the next speaker is Nannette.
Hello everyone, this is Congresswoman Nannette Barragan, proudly representing San Pedro and the Harbor area in Washington, D.C. I'm so pleased to be joining the annual ILWU PMA fundraiser for the LA Harbor Boys and Girls Clubs. Over the past year, our community has been hit hard by a raging pandemic and soaring joblessness. Yet, our community stood together and persevered thanks in part to organizations like the Boys and Girls Club. Despite this unprecedented crisis, the Boys and Girls Clubs continue to serve our youth and communities without interruption. Their grab-and-go food distributors manage to give out 25,000 meals a week, while their weekend wellness program has ensured our most vulnerable neighbors have the food and hygiene products they need to sustain themselves through the week. Even though students have had to learn virtually this past year, the club's counselors were able to assist 1,155 high school students, including 604 students through their college-bound program. 92% of those seniors will be attending 2-year or 4-year colleges this fall. How amazing is that? This is why, as we look forward to the end of this pandemic, I will continue to work in Congress to make our community a great place to live, just as the Boys and Girls Clubs have done here at home for years. I look forward to joining you all in person for next year's fundraiser. Thank you.
During these challenging times, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Los Angeles Harbor has made a firm commitment to open our doors to the kids of our communities. Even though you can't see them, there are some beautiful smiles under those masks. Please make a donation to the Boys and Girls Clubs today. We are depending on your generosity to to keep our doors open and keep these kids smiling.
Hi, my name is Nannette and my next speaker is Greg.
Hi there, my name is Greg Mitri and I am the president of the ILWU Southern California Pensioners and also the president of the ILWU Pacific Coast Pensioners, which encompasses all of the ILWU pensioners on the West Coast. Today we're standing inside the historic San Pedro Boys Club, which happens to be the location where I grew up in. My first venture to the Boys Club was playing what was called biddy basketball. And I think I was 10 years old when I started. I can still remember the smell of the gym. I can remember going and watching games there and sitting in the stands as a kid. I mean, I remember how excited I was just to be able to go and watch. And, I looked forward to coming to the Boys Club every day that I could after school. And I would come here and they would offer us snacks. We would be able to go into the wood shop. We'd be able to play sports. We played pool. I think I was probably 12 or 13 years old when I came down here and I made my first wooden duck in the wood shop here. And I'll never forget it because I took it home and I gave it to my mom. And it was very special. It was just a great experience for me from the time I was a kid all the way until I graduated from high school. To this day, I'm very good friends with the guys that were on my first biddy basketball team. All of the longshoremen that have ever used the Boys Club, we talk about it on a regular basis. And the old timers that I represent are the pensioners. They're the older guys. I'm a young pensioner. I'm only 63 years old. The guys that are in their 80s, they remember the Boys Club back in the days when there was no other organized sports. The only real sports there were the Boys Club football team, and they look at it and they absolutely treasure those memories. The Boys Club football team back in the 40s and 50s was known throughout not only the community, but throughout the state as one of the best football teams in the entire country. They actually played the Los Angeles Rams, the Boys Club team did, in a scrimmage. And if you get some old timers and you get them talking and hear their stories, they will tell you that the Boys Club was a formidable force in the early days in San Pedro. So when I was young, there was very few sports that you could do, and there was very few activities that you could do. Little League Baseball was one of the things that was available, and Pop Warner football was available, and that was about it. And, if you didn't play those two sports, then you really didn't have anywhere to go or anything to do. The Boys Club filled that void then. And now what it does is you guys have expanded it to be something that is much, much more than just athletics. And that's what I think is most important, because in today's day and age, any kid can go and play a sport somewhere. There's so many leagues and so many clubs and so many things for them to do. But especially for at-risk kids, and especially for kids that are less fortunate than others, to be able to come to the Boys Club and to be able to come here and not have any money and not pay any dues is probably the most important thing that you're doing to the communities that you serve. I'm super proud, very, very proud to be an ILW member and to know that you guys have stepped up, the ILW has stepped up. Knowing that the PMA is stepping up makes me very proud.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and our next speaker is Dahlia.
Hi, my name is Nannette Paulson. I'm a labor relations representative for the Pacific Maritime Association. Today, we are at the Boys and Girls Club at the port, overlooking the beautiful Port of LA. So one of the things that I truly believe in is when an organization like the Boys and Girls Club offers opportunities to the kids that live in the community that otherwise would not be exposed to those opportunities. And again, walking through the center, I realized that it's not just about college or being exposed to college. It's about exposing these kids who otherwise wouldn't know about the diversity in career paths. And that's what the Boys and Girls Club offers. I believe it's really, really important for Pacific Maritime Association and our member companies to contribute to the Boys and Girls Club because it is such a great resource for our communities, Wilmington and San Pedro. And they really are contributing to not just the Boys and Girls Club, but to their future employees. When I went to go visit the center in San Pedro, it was just very eye-opening because although my family does attend the Boys and Girls Club, I just wasn't aware of the diversity in the programs. And I think that's so important because we don't all like the same programs. So if kids are coming to a center where they have so many different opportunities, so many different hobbies to discover, it's amazing. The Boys and Girls Club has been such a critical organization during the last pandemic, not just because you're offering a space to kids who are probably isolated at home, sitting in front of TV, being couch potatoes, and then they get to come to the Boys and Girls Club, and although they're wearing a mask and they're social distance, but at least being around other kids. But I thought about the food program, and I'm thinking, a lot of these kids' parents probably lost their job, probably have had decreased hours at work, and it has been so important for them to know that maybe if they don't have money for food that week, they can come here and get that. I'm very proud to be working at PMA, and I'm very proud of PMA for giving me the opportunity to come here and help the Boys and Girls Club, who in turn helps the community, who in turn helps the kids succeed and create an amazing potential workforce in the future for our member companies. Well, I believe it's amazing that we're going on to 16 years in celebrating this amazing event where PMA and our member companies and the ILWU are coming together, not to sit down and argue and fight over the contract, but to sit down and really engage in this idea of how can we help the kids in our community and doing our part together to contribute to our community. And I think it's great that we are giving this example to the kids in our communities. So last year was very tough for everyone, including ILWU, PMA, and the member companies trying to adjust to this deadly pandemic. And the Boys and Girls Club was absolutely also going through that time as well. I admire the Boys and Girls Club for pivoting and getting with it and understanding how can we help the families through this tough time. And they did. So I hear that next year we'll be able to have this event in person again, and I truly do look forward to sitting down with you and have a rib or two again to help the kids in our community.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. I'd like to thank the ILWU and the PMA as you've come together to support the Boys and Girls Club of the Los Angeles Harbor each year. Thank you for your support, and just know how much that effort makes a difference in the lives of thousands of kids and their families in the LA Harbor. So wishing you all the best. Who dat?
Hello everyone, my name is Jasmine Gudino. I am the Wilmington High School Site Coordinator for the Boys and Girls Club of Los Angeles Harbor. It is with great honor to present Nicholas Velasquez, who is an honor student, has been a member of the Boys and Girls Club since elementary, and is our Wilmington Youth of the Year. Help me welcome Nicholas Velasquez.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Velasquez, and I'm a 10th grade student and longtime member of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Los Angeles Harbor. I've been a member of the club for around 10 to 11 years now. My favorite thing about the club is just all the opportunity that there is. Whether I want to expand it to something more in the education fields or in the creative field, there's always the opportunity to do so. So at the club, thankfully, I've been given the opportunity to learn different life lessons across my years. So from Roy at the Pedro site, who's constantly taught me about teamwork and leadership and how that kind of plays into life in general, that's really been a big opportunity for me. And at the Wilmington site, Jasmine and Sonia, they've been really big pushers on me and just teaching me that I can really do whatever I choose to do in life as long as I just put in the work for it. And Eddie at the port site, constantly in college bound, he's always just bringing a really good positive energy, and he's constantly teaching us that even if some things are just really unenjoyable, you have to really put your best efforts and just try to make it a fun experience. So here at the club, there's countless programs that you can do, from gardening to digital arts to sports to more educational field type stuff. Some of the programs that I like specifically are the educational opportunities and sports. I've been playing almost every sport that they offer here, from soccer to football to basketball, for years now. And College Bound and Keystone and the dual enrollment opportunities have just been so helpful, because I can really just gain experience on what it takes to be successful in the educational field. The Youth of the Year program has definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and helped me expand on interview skills, leadership skills, and just working in a large group of people. So through the Youth of the Year program, I've just been given so many opportunities to actually go out and meet different people who really believe in the mission of the club and helping the community. You know, life through this pandemic has been really tough, but the club has always been there to help. You know, sometimes there's been a lot of times where I just can't show up to the club because I'm so bombarded with school, but staff are always here messaging me and just making sure we're doing fine. I think that's a really good resource to have, because sometimes you don't have people checking in on you, and it makes it really good knowing that you have a family and community behind you all the way. So throughout these years, the club has just really shown me all the opportunities that are out there, and just as a way to give back in the future, I hope to be a community leader and give back to the next generation of youth just how these staff did to me. The club is truly a place where people from all different types of backgrounds can come together and try out different opportunities, and that really means a lot, especially coming from a neighborhood where not a lot of kids make it out and usually fall into gang or drug abuse first. And these opportunities just really do mean a lot. If I had never found the club, I truly don't know where I would be right now, just because the club has really built my character and instilled me with the vision on what I want to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to also give a special thanks to ILWU and PMA for making this all possible. It's because of your contributions that kids like me can go on to live their best dreams. Thank you all for attending our 16th annual luncheon, and we hope to see you all next year.
Hi, my name is Adam, and the next speaker is Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert Maynez. I'm Director of Contract Administration and Arbitration for Marine Clerks Association, ILWU Local 63. I'm here today as part of the planning committee for the annual Boys and Girls Club fundraiser. We're at the USS Iowa and in the Port of Los Angeles. On the planning committee, I've been involved helping the officers coordinate these fundraisers with the PMA, Pacific Maritime Association, since 2008. So I've been involved for a long time. We meet several times throughout the year to prepare for the annual fundraiser. We normally meet in person for an annual luncheon, but starting last year, because of the pandemic, we went to a virtual fundraiser, and we're doing it one more time this year, just out of an abundance of caution, but we are looking forward to seeing everybody again next year. So I was born in Wilmington, California, right here in the Port of Los Angeles. And although my parents moved out to Corona and Riverside, California, I spent many, many weekends every year right here in Wilmington, California. And just giving you a little background on why I think it's important to support the Boys and Girls Club is that children, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds or lower socioeconomic class, need a place to go to interact in a safe manner and bond with their peers and get educated and get that extra assistance that the children from wealthier families can afford. I've been doing this. It drives me. I believe it's really important to support our youth, because the youth are our future. And I think our support is very helpful, especially many programs after school, including the College Bound program. And our College Bound graduates from the Boys and Girls Club have gone on to many great universities. And I think that's very admirable. And I believe it's very important that we all continue supporting those efforts. Coming from my background, I was the first university-educated child in my family, and I went on to grad school. And so I've now more than ever realized the importance of all of our children gaining an education, either through university or tech-related schools. I believe the Boys and Girls Club is providing a really sound basis for our children's education. During that time, many of our children were, in fact, were at home and remote learning, and so that made it challenging for everybody. That made it challenging for the parents, and especially those children that were home that would typically get a free lunch or subsidized lunch in their public schools or elsewhere. And the Boys and Girls Club were instrumental in keeping the learning process going remotely and also providing meals to those families that, for those children of families that would normally receive free or subsidized lunches at school. So they kind of filled that void. So I think it was very critical that the Boys and Girls Clubs stayed active and involved during the pandemic. I'm proud of the ILWU and the PMA. They can be at the bargaining table or the labor relations table, arguing across the table, sometimes go into arbitration to settle a dispute, but they come together for this great purpose without argument and cooperate together to raise nearly $100,000 every year for the Boys and Girls Club of LA Harbor. So I think it's very admirable, and I'm very happy to see this go forward every year. Well, I'd like to thank the LA Harbor Boys and Girls Clubs and their staff for bringing us this opportunity to film on the USS Iowa in the Port of Los Angeles. This location actually has a special meaning for me. I come from a family of military veterans, and in fact one of my grandfathers served in Pearl Harbor and survived the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And my other grandfather was in World War II, my father was in Korea, I served in the US Marine Corps. So this is a wonderful place to be. I want to thank all of our supporters for continuing to stick with us through the pandemic and going forward. Please stay with us in this great effort. We can't be with you this year in person, but I'm pretty certain we're going to be together next year. And so we'll see you there. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sonia Espinosa, and I'm the Wilmington Regional Director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Los Angeles Harbor. Here we are, a whole year later, but a whole lot stronger. This pandemic has taught us the importance of doing whatever it takes to meet the needs of our members and the communities that we're in. Since the start of this pandemic, our staff stepped up to answer the call. They quickly pivoted normal operations to serve the ever-changing needs in our communities. Throughout these unprecedented and uncertain times, our clubs remain true to its mission to serve those who need us most. Take a look at our year in review. Our grab-and-go distribution sites served 180,000 meals in Wilmington, San Pedro, Harbor City, and Harbor Gateway. Along with grab-and-goes, the club distributed 5,000 school and art supplies. We also distributed 6,000 books to help members stay engaged while at home. Thanks to Chuck Rossini, we were able to distribute $500,000 worth of grocery gift cards, not only to our club families, but we were able to partner with other community organizations as well. In our Rancho San Pedro public housing community, we partnered with local restaurant Sebastian's to feed our senior citizens. Lights, camera, action. While schools and clubs remained closed for in-person programming, our clubs transformed into mini studios and our staff into video producers, creating engaging daily programming in the arts, academics, and athletics.
The college application process didn't stop, and neither did our teens. Over 604 seniors recently participated in our college-bound graduation. Although they began the year virtually, over 99% of our seniors were able to graduate on time, with over 96% going on to a 2-year or 4-year college this fall to schools such as Princeton, Dartmouth, the UCs, the CSUs, private universities such as Tufts and USC, and so many more. And $385,000 in scholarships were passed on to our 2021 college-bound seniors as they head on to their higher education. We then began our weekend wellness food distribution program. We started with 300 families, but as the need grew, the program grew with it, now serving over 1,200 families each week, providing a family of 5 with food to last from Friday evening to Sunday. That's over 40,000 meals each Friday. Recently, the Weekend Wellness Program was able to distribute their 1 millionth meal. Wow, great job, Weekend Warriors.
As the school year started, we opened our doors once again to support our members as they navigate distance learning. We filled our days with enrichment programs and brought back a sense of normalcy to our youth. We also transformed our school bus into the bookstore on wheels, allowing our kids to choose fun reads to escape into a world of pure imagination. As more people get vaccinated, as schools begin to reopen, and as normalcy is within reach, we here at the club remain stronger than ever. Although this year looks different than our past 84 years, we know that we can face any challenge. The most important lesson that we learned here at the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Los Angeles Harbor is that together we are stronger.
My name is Annie. I'm speaking on Dawn.
Oh, hi, I'm Dawn Fikema, and I'm the Vice President of the ILWU Local 63 Office Clerical Unit. We are here at the beautiful Port of Long Beach at the LBCT new Middle Harbor Project Terminal. Our organization supports the Boys and Girls Club for many reasons, but most of all just because of the wide variety of help that they commit to. Many of our members are longshore, office clerical workers, security guards, mechanics, and we work pretty much 24 hours out here at the port, and so it's really comforting for many of the families to know that their kids have a place to go for after school care, summer day camps, and the various programs that they offer. My history with the Boys and Girls Club has just been over the last 10 years as I served on the executive board for our local, and we were asked to give donations to the Boys and Girls Club each year, and as our board always contemplated the many donation requests that would come in, it was always kind of a soft spot for us with the Boys and Girls Club because so many of our members either themselves went and participated at the Boys and Girls Club, or they have their children now that belong to the Boys and Girls Club in the different locations, whether it be Wilmington or San Pedro, Long Beach, or the greater LA areas. During the pandemic, certainly it was an unprecedented time for all of us essential workers here in the port and our families. Many of the schools were closed down, and parents were shifting to at-home schedules, and many of our parents, of course, had to go work the vessels here at the port. So just knowing that they could bring their kids to the Boys and Girls Club either in their cars with masks, they could bring their kids and pick up packets for homework help, art supplies, music assistance. Some I hear even had dance and physical activities that they could do over the computer, and they had a Boys and Girls Club member and associate there to help them and interact with them, which was really helpful to our port families. I feel like it's really important to continue to invest in the Boys and Girls Club for these kids because they are the next generation, and very possibly the next generation of port workers here in the Long Beach LA Harbor. And knowing that they have a secure environment to be in and assistance and programs available to help them, many of them to get to college, some of them maybe not going to go on a college track. They have other avenues where they're supported and encouraged, whether they want to go into skilled labor. And the Boys and Girls Club always has those programs available that are kind of outside the box. It means a lot to me that both the unions and the employers work together to support the Boys and Girls Club. This is one area where normally the union and the employers, we get together and we get on where we knock out contracts and negotiate. And with the Boys and Girls Club, this is a time where we actually lock arms and we're in step with one another, and we work together on this project for the greater outcome of our community and our workers and their families. The Boys and Girls Club had to pivot this last year in how they've operated and how they've assisted the families and the kids of the community. And it really does feel good to know that everyone was thinking on their feet and just trying to handle the situations as they arose daily for some of these families, and just whatever their needs were, the Boys and Girls Club was there to try to meet those needs. And in closing, I just would like to say I'm really honored to represent the ILWU family and to know that we've all stood together during what has been a really hard time for our country and really help these families in our community have a better life under hard circumstances. And we really look forward to meeting everyone next year.
Hi there, I'm Jackie. I'm a team leader here at the Boys and Girls Club, and our next speakers are Ramon, Mike, and Daniel.
Hello, my name is Ramon Ponce de Leon. I'm the president of the ILWU Local 13.
And good morning, my name is Mike Padilla. I'm the president of ILWU Local 63.
Hello, I'm Danny Miranda, president of ILWU Local 94.
The Boys and Girls Club started interaction with ILWU 16 years ago, and I guarantee you that there's going to be another 16 years of interaction at least with the ILWU. It's a great organization, and we got to make it continue to stand strong, and it helps the youth. The youth is our future.
Boys and Girls Club was brought to our attention that kids in our community, this port is the economic engine for the whole state. And so we got along and said, how can we raise money to give these kids something to do? More than this after school program. How do we help them educate themselves and move them forward? So we got together with our employer and we said, how do we do it? We got plenty of employers here that we asked to help donate to the community and to give back. And where else do we give back? Because this is where it's at. We're fortunate to be in an industry that we're in, and that's how it started. And we moved forward, and with our employer and a bunch of partners, it's where it's at today.
I think one of the biggest reasons that the ILW supports the Boys and Girls Club is that it's giving back to the community. Giving back to our community is a big part of what the ILW does, and for our structure, it's always about helping those other individuals that need that help.
Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club, everybody just thinks it's just Boys and Girls Club, but they've fed their 1 millionth family. And taking care of children, taking care of the youth is taking care of the family value. And reaching out to those who are less fortunate, especially during the pandemic when things were chaotic, the Boys and Girls Club has reached out endlessly to feed families. And we are grateful here for organizations such as this that do so much for just the whole community, not just for the youth, but for everybody.
Our union has always been the leader in social justice, giving back to our community. This is what we're all about. It's very proud to say that we support the Boys and Girls Club because that's what we're all about. This is what our union does, and we're just fortunate to have the job we have to give back. And so we're going to support these types of programs throughout our community, throughout the state, throughout this country, because that's what the ILWU is all about.
That partnership between the ILWU, the Pacific Maritime Association, the employer, and the Boys and Girls Club, it's one of those things that feeds the heart of a community. It really does. And with all the different programs, the food giveaways, the possibility of a child being able to move on in life and have that opportunity to possibly get a better job. Being part of that, I'd like to see more people get involved in that. Sometimes we walk through life and with blinders on and don't really see what's around us. People need to open their eyes to the fact of what's happening, not only here in our small community here, but across the country. Giving back to those in need has always been a big part of the ILWU. And to bring this all together with the employers and with the organization, with the great people that work within the foundation of the Boys and Girls Club, it's a good feeling. And I like to see everybody get that feeling. Because you know what? It'll humble you. At the same time, it's going to make you feel good.
We look to getting back together and do the interaction, talking to each other, seeing each other. So we got to go through it this way, this last time. Everybody continue to donate. We need your support. Boys and Girls Club need your support. This community needs your support.
And I really, again, want to make a shout out to the staff and everybody that makes the heart of that system work. Right. You guys are invaluable. We appreciate you all, 3 presidents here, and we look forward to seeing you in person next year.
But Boys and Girls Club, continue to do what you do. People that support it, continue supporting, and hopefully this thing grows bigger and bigger. God bless you. God bless the Boys and Girls Club. From the ILWU, from the bottom of our heart, we're here for you.
Thank you once again for joining us today in our 16th annual ILWU PMA Luncheon. Truly appreciate your presence and really your support of our efforts during this pandemic and unprecedented year. Without you, the great success we had, the impact on so many youth and families could not have occurred. First off, we'd like to introduce our platinum sponsors for this event.
ILWU Local 13. Our gold sponsors, Ports America, ILWU Local 63, and Pasha. Our silver sponsors, ILWU Federal Credit Union, ILWU Foreman's Union Local 94, SSA Marine, Port of Los Angeles, Total Terminals International, Southern California ILWU Pensioners. Our bronze sponsors, Phoenix Marine Services, Pacific Crane Maintenance Company, SA Recycling, Pacific Maritime Association, Everport Terminal Services, TRAPAC, Harbor Industrial Services, Long Beach Container Terminal, APM Terminals, and our event supporters, ILWU Local 63 Office Clerical Unit, SR Holguin, Alameda Corridor Transportation Authority, and Westrec Marina Management. Thank you to all of our sponsors for today's event. Truly appreciate it.
In closing, I have two other groups that I really have to say thank you to. First of all, our tremendous staff. Day in and day out, since March of 2020, you've stepped up to help those families that truly need us the most with your fantastic efforts. Your diligence, your caring, your love for these young people and families is truly inspirational. It happened because of you. So thank you, Boys and Girls Clubs of LA Harbor staff. You guys are true heroes. And thank you also, last but not least, to our board of directors. You went on this journey of sponsoring all of these expanded efforts. You agreed to take on that responsibility and to support each and every one of us in this endeavor. Board of directors, we love you. We thank you for your support. You truly are amazing. I wish you all an even greater 21-22 year. We're coming out of this pandemic. We're going to do fantastic things in the coming year, once again with your support. God bless, take care, and we'll see you again next year.